I lived in this small mountain town outside Salt Lake City, and the only hotel in town was where I worked the night shift. It was this family-owned place, not fancy, just a basic spot. One night, this tired guy, about my age, came in. He seemed off, didn't say much, and only gave his first name as Daniel, no last name. He took a room and went straight in. With just 12 rooms in the whole place, it was just me and him for the night. But something felt odd about him. Later, I heard these thumbs down the hall, like someone was moving around. I checked, but nothing. Then, at checkout time, he was a no-show. We couldn't open his door, and when we finally did, the room was empty, with a dresser blocking the door from the inside. His car was still parked outside. It was a total mystery. The cops came in, asking questions, poking around the hotel. They looked into the guy's stuff, his room, everything. But they found nothing that explained what happened. They even checked the security cameras, but he wasn't seen leaving. The hotel was a small joint, with just the main lobby, the lounge, and the rooms. There wasn't much to it. The owners were nice folks, though they were spooked by the whole thing. It was unsettling thinking a guy was staying in your place, then he's just gone without a trace. The police talked to everyone in town, trying to figure out who this Daniel guy was, but no one knew him. No one knew why he'd come to our little town or what he was up to at the hotel. As for the hotel, it was a cozy spot, nothing too fancy. The rooms were small but clean, and there was this old-fashioned charm to it. The lounge was where I hung out during my shift, with a few chairs and a TV. It wasn't bustling, mostly quiet except for the occasional guests checking in or out. But after that night with Daniel, things felt different. I'd find myself looking over my shoulder, wondering if he'd come back or if something else strange would happen. It was like a mystery hanging over the place, and it made everyone a bit uneasy. Days turned into weeks, and nothing new came up about Daniel. The police had other cases to handle, and life at the hotel went back to normal. But there was this strange feeling of not knowing, of wondering what had really gone down that night. The hotel tried to get back to its routine, but it was tough. People in town would gossip about it now and then, but as time passed, the story faded away. The owners put up new security measures, just to be safe, but it didn't change the fact that we never found out who Daniel was or why he vanished like that. I guess some mysteries stay mysteries. The hotel went back to its quiet self, but there was always that memory, that strange night when a guy named Daniel checked in and disappeared without a trace. It's the kind of thing that sticks with you, makes you wonder about all the weird things that can happen in a small town. Before I continue to the next story, if you are interested in earning from YouTube without showing your face or without making videos by yourself using artificial intelligence, like the video that you are watching right now, then I have a special free training for you. Check the first link in the description below to get instant access. It was Friday, and I was on this work trip, staying in a hotel that wasn't in the best part of town. I'd been in this long meeting that felt like it'd never end. Finally, when I got back to my room, I was super tired. But there was another early meeting waiting for me the next day, so I knew I had to sleep somehow, even though I wasn't really feeling sleepy. I tried to sleep, but it just wasn't happening. After tossing and turning for what felt like forever, I decided to listen to a podcast. Sometimes that helped me fall asleep. Eventually, I started feeling all dozy and started nodding off. Then, out of the blue, I woke up to this weird noise, a soft knocking sound. I checked the clock, 2 a.m. I took off my headphones, thinking maybe the sound was coming from them, but nope. It seemed like someone was messing with the door lock. I jumped out of bed and went to the door. It was moving, like someone was trying to mess with the lock, making it swing back and forth. I got this weird feeling that something wasn't right. I grabbed my gun from my bag, I always kept it close. I went back to the door and saw the lock twist and unlatch. I aimed my gun at the door, ready for whatever might happen next. But luckily, the door stopped halfway. There was this extra latch thing that stopped it from opening all the way. That thing probably saved me big time. But the person on the other side didn't stop trying. A hand sneaked in, trying to unlock it from inside. I yelled up that I had a gun. The hand disappeared, and I heard footsteps rushing away down the hall. I thought about calling the cops, but I figured the person would be gone by the time they showed up. Next morning, I wanted to tell the hotel people what happened, but the lobby was full of police. Turns out, the guy trying to break into my room was an escaped prisoner. He'd been going around, sneaking into rooms, and robbing people with a knife. The police were talking to everyone, trying to figure out what happened that night. They asked if anyone saw anything strange or if anyone else had a run-in with the guy. It was a bit scary seeing the cops asking questions, trying to find out what went down. During their investigation, the police checked everything, videos, locks, and made sure the hotel was safer. It made me realize how important it is to be careful, especially when you're in a new place. Days passed, but I never heard if they caught the escaped prisoner. I hoped they did, but I wasn't sure. Looking back, I felt glad I stayed calm and ready. It's pretty crazy that a small latch was all that kept me safe that night. The police finished looking into things, but I never got news about the guy being caught. They say you never really know how you'll act in a tough situation until it happens. Thinking about it now, I'm glad I stayed cool. It's just wild to think that a little latch stopped something really scary from happening. Every summer, my family goes on vacation to different places. It's me, my mom, dad, and my little brother. We always stay at really cool hotels with resorts. We mostly hang out there instead of going outside because it's easier and relaxing. Plus, we save money by not renting a car. On the first day, we unpacked in the morning. My brother and I couldn't wait to hit the water park. While we splashed around, my parents relaxed on chairs by the pool. After a couple of hours, they said it was time to get ready for dinner. Dad went looking for me when it was time to leave. He found my big brother, Sam, but not me. I was talking to a kid my age in a quiet corner. Dad found me eventually, and we went back to the hotel. He asked about the kid I was talking to, but I didn't know much. It was weird because the kid's parents invited me to dinner without talking to my parents. Dad and Mom got worried when I told them. Later that evening, when we got back to our room, that kid's mom and the kid were in the elevator. She asked if I could join them for dinner. My parents looked confused, so they said we'd figure something out for another day. It felt weird, like they were waiting for us on purpose. The night got scarier. I woke Dad up because I was talking to someone at the door. Before I knew it, Dad was shouting and slamming the door. There was someone out there, but they ran away. Dad went after them but couldn't catch them. He told Mom and then went to talk to the hotel people. The hotel called the police right away. They checked the cameras, but there weren't any in the hallways. The police asked a lot of questions and took notes. They tried to find the person who was at our door, but there wasn't much to go on. The next day, the police talked to the hotel staff and asked if they knew anything. They searched the area and talked to other guests, but nobody saw anything strange. The hotel manager said they would tighten security, but they couldn't do much more. We had to move to another hotel. It was farther away, but we felt safer there. The police told my parents they'd keep investigating, but it was hard without any clues. It made me sad and scared that they might not catch those bad people. My parents were really serious and told me to stay away from that family without them. They even told my big brother, Sam, to keep an eye on me. It's awful to think those people might try this again. I hope sharing this helps other parents know the dangers. I'm really scared that the kid I talked to might be missing, and those bad people are using him to trick other kids. It's the scariest thing, thinking about what might have happened. Those people should be in jail for doing such terrible things. I hope by telling this story, other kids can be safe from them.